from the dusty streets of his childhood. The young man had learned to take what was not his. It began with small things, coins from a table, fruits from a neighbor's stall. Each time, he would glance at his mother waiting, hoping she would stop him, but she never did. Sometimes she ignored it. Sometimes she laughed it off. Other times, she simply said nothing at all. As the years passed, the small thefts grew into serious crimes. What was once childish mischief became a habit he could no longer control. One day, he was caught. The court was swift. The evidence was clear. His crimes had gone too far. He was sentenced to death. On the morning of his execution, the officers treated him as tradition required. They brought him food. "I don't want it," he said quietly. On the morning of his execution, the officers treated him as tradition required. They brought him water. "I don't want it." Confused, one officer asked, "What do you want then?" The young man looked up, his eyes heavy with something deeper than fear. "Give me a pen and paper." They hesitated, but granted his request. He sat in silence for a long time, then began to write. When he was done, he folded the letter carefully. "Please," he said, "take this to my mother. Do not open it." The officers agreed. The letter was delivered, sealed and untouched. When his mother received it, she smiled faintly, thinking it might be a final message of love. But as she opened it and read, her smile faded. Her hands began to tremble. The letter read, "Mother, today I face death for the life I have lived. But before I go, I need you to know the truth. You are the reason I am here. The first time I stole, you saw me and said nothing. The second time, you ignored it again. Every time I did wrong, you kept silent. You never corrected me. You never stopped me. What began as a small act became my life. And now, that life has brought me to death. If I die today, it is not only my doing. It is the result of your silence. Your son." By the time she reached the end, tears blurred her vision. The weight of those words crushed her. Her body gave way. She collapsed to the ground, the letter still clutched tightly in her hand. And she never rose again. The officers returned to ask if there was any reply for the condemned man. Instead, they found the mother lying lifeless, the letter beside her. Curious and troubled, they read it. Silence filled the room as each line revealed a painful truth. No one spoke for a long moment. Finally, one officer whispered, "This is not just his crime. This is a failure that began long ago." They returned to the prison. The young man stood where they had left him, waiting for his fate. But this time, things were different. "The sentence has been lifted," one officer said. "You are free." The young man did not smile. He did not celebrate. Instead, tears slowly rolled down his face. "Free?" he whispered, but he knew the truth. He had lost the one person he had written to, and the freedom he had just been given could never bring her back. Moral lesson: when wrong is ignored, it grows. Correction may hurt in the moment, but silence can destroy a lifetime. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe. Bye.